Happy Thursday morning to everybody and a happy start to September. Brad, we finally made it to football season, and if last video was any indication of how excited everybody was, let's see what happens today and Saturday morning. More than 1,000 people on the stream currently, 5.5 thousand tuned in on Monday, the most watched video in Covers YouTube history. How are we feeling with football coming back and all this excitement?
Super excited, but obviously you're only as good as your last pick. So let's hope that Colorado State pick wins, and hopefully we get another winner for tonight.
There we go. We're sitting on that total from Monday. Was a very good number we have that's well ahead of market now. A reminder to everybody here on the show, we're going to bump things back an hour going forward. Monday, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. These streams will go live. Brad, there's been some little market shenanigans. Is this week 0 and week 1 and sort of that's coming from it? Or is this something that we just have to play by ear going forward?
Honestly, Adam, it might be something we just have to play by ear because, I mean, at the point last year in November, they weren't releasing a lot of these FCS games until an hour, maybe 45 minutes before kick. So that's why we were doing it at this certain time. And now this year, it looks like they're earlier to market. And obviously, when they get posted at a majority of these books, Adam, there's value to be had. And the guys like myself are really betting into these. So we're trying to get you, the listeners and the audience members, the best numbers we can.
So we will start that by going at 11 a.m. Eastern. Again, Monday, Saturday, live streams with Brad here on Covers YouTube. We'll see how that goes. And if any adjustment need to be made, we will do that on the fly. But if you want to keep up with everything as we go, we encourage you to like and subscribe to the video. We're trying to get to 10,000 by the start of football. So if you guys are watching the video before we get to the pick here, if you want to go down and hit subscribe, you will get the notification on your phone 30 minutes before we go live with every stream. But of course, we will keep you updated as we go. So if you have a second, you like the video, you like the value Brad's providing, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it very much. Reminder to everybody that from the Monday stream was Colorado State, Michigan over. Got that at 58. So a lot of people in the chat were asking about it. If you missed a show Monday, don't worry. We've got you covered with a bet coming for tonight. With all that said, Brad, I think it's time to get to the pick, isn't it?
Let's do it.
All right, so we will start off by telling you the time of the game that we are betting. We will tell you what game it is, and then we'll tell you if it is a side or a total. And we'll give everybody about 10 to 15 seconds for each of these steps so you can have your sportsbook app ready. You can hop through the menus. You can get to the games, and then we'll all hit submit together. And that'll give you the best chance of getting ahead of this move because as we've seen, these numbers are moving in a hurry, especially off this show. And I think the one tonight, safe to say it's going to move quite a bit as well. So let's get to it. And the game, again, it is happening tonight. And it is a late game, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And you'll be able to find it in the extra games within your sportsbook app if it offers it. So if your sportsbook does have the extra games option, then we encourage you to go into that menu and then scroll down. This will be right near the bottom of all the games that are listed for you within your sportsbook menu. 10:30 p.m. Eastern time will give you a few seconds to catch up, and I will tell you which game we are going to be looking at. The game at 10:30 p.m. Eastern is rotation number 308-939, 308-940, Portland State at San Jose State. So again, this is probably something you're going to need to find within the extra games tab if your sportsbook offers that. But it is 308-939, 308-940, Portland State, San Jose State. Give everybody a few more seconds to get to this game within your sportsbook app and betting menu. In this game, we will be looking at the side. So it's going to be a bet on either side. Give you a few more seconds to catch up to this one. And the bet that we will be making is Portland State plus 21.5, 308-939 plus 21.5. As you can see on the screen now, you can find as high as 24 available. There's a lot of 22.5, a lot of 23, But Brad, you're confident in this one at 21.5 or better. Let's get into Portland State here. Let's break this one down and tell me about the number you make it.
Yeah, I made it 17.5 as far as the number goes here. And the reason, obviously, value and some discrepancy there between my number and the actual market number right now. Main handicap here is with Portland State. This is a team that's got some stability, longtime head coach. And what I kind of lean back on is how does a long-term head coach at the FCS level, how does he treat these FBS games? Does he roll over and die and worry about conference games? Portland State's in a relatively good conference, the Big Sky. And I go no further than last season. They played Hawaii, played Washington State. They were super competitive in both games, easily covered both games, well under the number of this number in both those games. And Hawaii and Washington State are very similar, if not power rated higher than this San Jose State team. So that's mainly where I get to my number of 17.5 and the difference here.
So let me ask you, as we see a lot of people chime in with their bets, what number they got, where they bet it. I encourage everybody. There's a chat option within the YouTube stream. Jump in there. Let us know, where were you betting it? What price did you get? Seems like a lot of people were able to get 22.5. We saw it move as low as 16.5 at FanDuel off of the bet. Some other places now look like they're settling at 18, right near your number of 17.5. But I'm curious, as we look to a bigger spread here, with a total around 53, 54. How valuable are these points between 21.5 and 18? I think some people look at a 6-7 point move at this high of a number. Is there less value around this range of points than we might see if it's single digits?
So that's why I'm doing the show with you, Adam. That would be my second part of the handicap. We're not dealing with a total in the 60s here, or the 70s. Relatively lower scoring games. So every half point or so means a little bit more. It's a below average game, even by college football standards. Average total in college football is 57. So below average total usually has me tending to lean towards the underdog in that regard, regardless of what my number is. So that did play a factor on my Portland State's to pick.
And inevitably, too, a question I'm seeing pop up, although we're not encouraging to do it, especially not at the same sports book, but people are going to ask about middling or taking the other side. Most people aren't used to seeing a game move 6 or 7 points while they're watching it, especially having that ticket on side. But when we're talking about games like this with lower tier schools, moves like this, it's not uncommon for you to see numbers that are way off of your point spread. You mentioned the game this morning moved 14.5 points. So they should probably err with some caution if they're thinking about going back on the other side, shouldn't they?
I definitely agree with that sentiment. Don't get too greedy and going for the middle. It's tough enough to win as it is. I mean, I had one move with me 17 points last year. It was a Rice Texas Southern game. I bet a team plus 37, or I actually laid 20 with Rice in that game. It closed 37. Didn't win the bet, even though it moved 17 points. So let's just take the closing line value and see where the chips fall. Of course, if there's a mistake like last week where it moves 14 points, sure, maybe go for a middle. You mentioned it. Don't do it at that book. That's a great way to get kicked out of that book. But if it's not in that instance, if it's moved 3, 4, 5 points, hey, I mean, it's close enough to my number where I'm not hedging personally. So why should you?
Yep, very well said. So the bet again, 308,939, Portland State plus 21.5. Looks like the market's going to settle here below 20, anywhere between 18 and 19. So again, anyone who got the 22.5 or 23 that was widely available got a really good bet. And it looks like in the chat, more than 1,300 people live on the stream at one time, 75% of people that voted got the price at 21.5 or better. So it's good to see those high numbers. Reminder, if you want to hit subscribe, you will get the notifications for the streams Monday and Saturday. 11 a.m. Eastern will be the time going forward here with Brad Powers on Covers YouTube. You get a day of rest tomorrow, and then, Brad, we're back at it bright and early Saturday morning. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern.